All right, everybody. We right back here in the shed. We at the dog pound downtown. Dixie Doggers podcast coming back to you again, trying to keep these things rolling out, keep y'all informed.
Yes, indeed.
With some good information and some good entertainment. And hopefully I'm getting better as a host.
I'm even talking. Man.
Yeah, no, even got Nate on here talking, and we are having some of the best guests from all around the country, man. I'm talking about a diverse group of individuals, and boy, I'm hyping them up pretty good, man. Hey, y'all better deliver, guys. So we got a good guest tonight, y'all. Mr. Raphael Holmes, he's Hog Maulers TV. How's it going, Ralph? How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing well. How about yourself? I tell you what. Your hype videos for sure have me over here purple blushing, man.
I hear you. You. So tell the folks listening out there who you are, where you from, and and what you do with your dogs and stuff.
Well, I'm Raphael Holmes. I live in Williston, Florida. I'm the owner operator of Hog Maulers Kennels. You'll probably hear a few of them barking in the background throughout this call because, believe it or not, this is about the only spot on my property I get some peace and quiet. Believe it or not, by the dogs.
You're going to hear them on a lot of our episodes, I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the joy of having dogs, man.
Yes, sir. And, I predominantly hog hunt. Well, I'll say exclusively hog hunt. I don't have the energy to do just about anything else. I just recently started doing some dog training, hunting, guiding a little bit. That's been a blessing, and that's about it about me. I'm a pretty open and shut book, pretty closed.
Well, that's pretty cut dry. The man likes dogs and likes hog hunting. That's what I'm talking about.
I like dogs and I like hog hunting. Now, I heard you had a few questions for me you want to ask.
Yeah, man, we got, like I said, we try to keep, we try to just keep it open and just let it flow however it goes. Nothing scripted, but
yes, sir.
Here lately, we've kind of been, shooting our guests a few topics and saying, hey, man, this is kind of the basis of what we do. And honestly, that's about what we ask most of our guests and stuff. So, I mean, but to keep it from being the same old and a monotonous, blah, 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 bunch of shit that this ain't happening, we, that's where the conversation comes in. So,
I know, I get it, man. I get it.
How'd you get started into working dogs and what dogs did you start out with?
Man, that even go back to me being a kid. I've always been interested in pit bulls and growing up with them, having them, seeing family members have them, conditioning them and things like that. I've always been around it. So that intrigued me with working dogs in general. Then I was looking into pretty much means of giving these dogs a job. So I dabbled in some confirmation, some weight pull. And then I discovered hog hunting when I was, let's say, about 20. And I became absolutely infatuated after that, man. It actually happened because a buddy of mine reached out to me because he was down to catch a dog. And he said, you think that dog meets yours to catch a hog? I said, absolutely. Yeah. We went out there. His dog did exactly what it was supposed to do. I sent my dog in, and he took a number 2 on us, man. It was terrible. He tried to fight the hog and not catch the hog. And that's when I became infatuated with knowing the difference. He schooled me on catching hogs versus fighting hogs and mannerisms, and it was just a whole new world for me. And like most of us, we have the same story, man. Just became infatuated with it after the first time.
Oh yeah, I think it's, and honestly, my hat's off to you for being honest and saying, hey, my dog didn't do, the best thing.
Terrible. He did terrible.
Hey, listen, I get it.
He went in there, got flipped. Grabbed him by the ankle, got flipped again, got drugged across the river, let go 5 times. And I was like, what is going on here? Like, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? This dog that I hold all high and mighty is really getting ran through.
Yeah. And that's the thing about it. It happens. I've talked to people there, and I've talked to a few young guys. I've talked to a couple of older guys, and they say, man, I ain't never had a bulldog miss. I said, man, that's pretty good.
They never seen it.
That's
man.
what I told him. I said, do you watch every single go?
ain't no way. Never. Well, they saying a boxer never misses a jab.
Hey, they ain't never they ain't hog hunted very much, if you ask me. I guess
never missed.
Yeah, because
that dog must have a 60-inch wide mouth.
You ain't joking, and that's the thing about it. I think the honesty part is where a lot of people lack. And I'm not saying that they're just being liars. I don't mean it like that. I mean, they think.
That's what I mean.
I think. Well, and that's what it really does revert to that. But
yeah, I don't think he's lying. He's lying.
I don't think that they're just trying to blatantly lie. I think they're worried about what somebody else is going to say about their dog.
Yeah, I think it's about
social media has. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead. You're gonna get all that with us. We're gonna interrupt the hell out of you.
Social media has so much influence on how people govern their dogs in their yard. It is crazy. I feel like once I really stopped listening so much, and I hate to say listening, but broadened my horizon, saw different dogs for myself when I came to be my own man. I feel like if you hunt with a specific group of people that hunt a specific type of dogs, they're going to preach that specific type of dog on you. And they're almost going to make it seem like it's a sin to go try something else.
Yep.
Until you do, and you say, well, they ain't what those guys said they were.
That's exactly
I think I like this style a little better.
I had an epiphany happen to me. And I've said it a few different times throughout the past couple of years. I thought I had a hog dog until I seen one.
Humbled you real quick, huh?
Dude. And I'm talking about, listen, I was catching pigs. I was catching them. But not like that. It was a whole nother level. And then, like you said, I was too busy listening to everybody. And there's nothing wrong with listening to people. There's nothing wrong with it. But like you said, they kind of can pull you into their world and put you on that one lane road and keep you narrow minded instead of open minded.
Oh yes, sir. Every time.
And then,
especially if it means elevating past them.
Oh, boy, what you talking about?
Oh, yeah. You come out there with somebody you started with a better dog than they got. Yeah. Oh, man.
I hit a stride after I'd been doing it for probably about 7 or 8 years, maybe close to 10 years. And I wanted everybody's dogs that they were going to cull. I said, do not get rid of that. Don't do that to that. Give it to me. Give it to me. And within one summer, I had a whole pack of my dogs that I've been having forever. And then I had a whole pack of nothing but culls. And them culls turned out to be better than all these other dogs I had. All I did was hunt them. I didn't do anything any different. And then we would go hunt with them same fools that was going to cull the dog. And they're like, well, what did you do to him? I said, nothing. We just put him with some more dogs and let him hunt. You know, that's all we did. I just seen my own way. And like you said, when you become your own man, you will have a better product.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. When you can put yourself into it, you got a better product.
100% agreed, man.
And I think that's pretty cool there, like you said.
Now, question, man. Whenever you said you saw that real hog dog for the first time, what breed of dog was that? Do you remember?
It was a bird bull.
A bird bull.
Listen, all
the way back there.
Listen, of all dogs, we're talking about in 2000, probably 2008, somewhere in there. This older gentleman had it. It might have been 2010 somewhere. It might have been 10. But anyway, and when I'm telling you, when I seen a hog dog work, now this rascal would cut out, throw rocks in your face as soon as you open the box. You listen, and that rascal, it was a female. Dog was gone. She was not going to run by one though. She wasn't going to run by it. She was going to find the hog, and she would cast. You road hunter, you rig hunter, you walk hunter, whatever you want to do. When you get there, this dog was baying. So I was like, I said, this man's got this big old bird bull down there baying. He said, baby, catch that hog right quick. And she'll catch that hog. He'll go down there and say, all right, get off my hog. And back then we was tying them here. Tie the hog up and go get in the truck. Dog goes to the truck. I was like, I ain't even getting mine out. I'm not getting mine out.
Man, he had a lot of time invested in that dog for sure.
Listen,
I got a buddy up in South Georgia that loves them bird bulls. Devlin, man, that's all he talks about. That's what he lives and dies by. And
dude, we ran them for years. Rough dogs. All ours were rough. And they was running catch dogs. That's all it was, with a good nose. But them bird bulls, they something else. And Devlin, what's his last name?
Cousins. Devlin Cousins. Yes, man, he loves them bird bulls.
Know that name.
But it's funny on the topic of rough dogs. I actually get rid of and everybody's got their own definition of what rough is. But me personally, I don't like them too rough. I feel like me personally, in my own personal experience, I know everybody's going to have something to say about this, but in my experience, the real rough dogs ain't the ones with the real good noses. I feel like you're substituting nose for grit a lot of times. And me, I'd rather have trail and find them ability than catching it right there no matter what. I'm more so there for the dogs and the good time for the most part. So I don't mind a couple of them getting away every now and again if I'm saving the dog. But that's just me. Everybody's got their own way, and you ask 10 different people, you'll hear 10 different answers.
But that's probably going to be the most common answer that you're going to hear from true dog men, because they know that most of the species or most of the dogs, the breeds of dogs that are real rough like that, they don't have the nose. And we had a breeding program going for roughly 10 years of trying to create that perfect rank rough dog with a nose. And I feel that we accomplished it because the caliber dogs that we had were just outstanding. But at the same time, what do you deal with rough dogs? And I mean, these were casting like further than most cur dogs would, more like a hound. And if they're a mile out there and they get hung, you got to get to them.
Yeah, it ain't no
it's
walk in the
fast
park. When that Garmin says street on them, you got to really get there.
Man, when we seen them, if we ever seen them circle around twice, it's like go. Get over there now.
So you can't take a nap in the woods if you want to, huh?
Lord, and that's what we went back to. Now we're back to.
Well, that's why we got so many dogs as well, because we got rough dogs, we got bay dogs, and we have several.
Our rough dogs are clarification. Our rough dogs are running catch dogs with a nose. That's with a decent nose.
Now, what are y'all considering running catch?
Okay, this is good here. Now, you gonna interview me too? I'm talking about. Okay, my running catch dog. I use it. Okay, say like some people like bear hunting. They'll get over there and pack another dog to a couple of dogs that's already running trail, right? If we got a hog that don't want to stop and he's wanting to break loose and get out of the country, we'll go up here and cut him. Try to get to a road where he come across. If we can cut him off, that's great, and we can send the dog from however far. And when I say however far, they don't have to hear him. I can put them on that track, and they'll run that track down just like they're tracking the hog. That's what they're doing, and they're going to catch it. And they're going to hold it until we get there or until they're no longer able to hold it. And you know what that means.
And like you said,
they're not going to quit.
Typically substituting that nose for more grit. These are going to be
hotter
nose, most of them. Because especially like in the blackmouth curs, I've noticed typically the more rough they are, like you said, they want to take that hotter track, even if we just cast or walk hunting them.
But now I'm talking about like King and the ones we had, but the ones that we were breeding up that were pretty much our own breed, or especially our own line. They were a crossbreed of dogs, and we had two of them. We had Hank, King, and Charlie. Charlie and King both, we lost them on the same night on the same pig. King was 9 years old. Charlie was 6. Hank will be 10 years old this year. Yeah. And for running catch dogs, they worked. You know what I'm saying? Most dogs don't, and Hank will still go right now with any of them. You can send him from however far you want, and he will get it done.
We'll be back after a quick break.
We would like to interrupt this episode to take a moment to thank our sponsors and friends of Dixie Doggers Podcast. Southern Cross Cut Gear, Boars N Broads, Hardcore Hog Dogs and Cut Gear, Showtime Premium Pet Food, Animal Housing Solutions, Tuskers Magazine, American Doghorn Association, 4L Kennels, Hogbang.com, The Boar's Nest, Crockett Taxidermy, Mud Creek Hog Baying. A big shout out to all those people and companies who help make us who we are. Thank y'all.
And gym memberships got to start subscribing hog hunting, because the dogs you talking about, you got to run to them every time. And that's kind of what I started with originally. And I was looking back at some old pictures. I said, man, I was a lot skinnier back then.
Me too.
I was running to all of those bays. I was like, man, now times have changed.
I want to drive right up to it and then just take my time and go in there.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it's so much better. Like you said, some hogs do get away, but
some hogs get away,
and that happens. And
sometimes you go a lot further for a hog you really didn't even want to catch. Like do I really want to bear crawl 800 yards through the marsh for a 50-pound show?
Yep.
Then I think to myself, the dog did it for me.
Yes.
I got to do my part.
Yep.
A lot of people disagree with that too, but
no, I'm
a no man left behind type of guy. And I know a lot of people disagree with that, but if that's something you disagree with, I advise you not hunt with me, because my dog put it all on the line. I feel like it's only up to us to do the same.
Yeah, you gotta get your ass out there and go to the dog.
That's part of the hunt. Is you. It ain't just the dogs hunting.
We put Nathan put a video up of we went with Rip Eason, and that hunt was probably one of the most fun hunts we've been on, and we didn't catch no bunch of big hogs or nothing. I think we caught 5 or 6, but there wasn't nothing big. And Rip's dogs got out of pocket, man. They was gone. It was cold, windy, nasty. Man, it was on property that of course we wasn't supposed to be on. And we get some permission. The guy says, yeah, go over here. We get there. There's somebody there. And they're like, they didn't even want us there, of course. We wind up having to go back and get a boat and all this stuff. And Rip, he looked at me, he said, Joe, y'all don't got to stay here. I said, what did you say to me? He said, man, we'll go get these dogs, me and these other guys. I said, I dropped them dogs with you. I ain't leaving till them dogs get in the box.
Hunt ain't over yet.
And I think we spent about 5 hours.
I don't trust you to put forth the same energy that I'm going to put forth.
Yeah.
I tell you, man, I tried everything I could, but you're still here, though. So you didn't try everything. You're looking at me, so you didn't try everything.
Yeah, that's right. And that, but that guy, Rip, he told me after we had left, he called, he said, man, he said, you know what? He said, I don't know very many people that would do that. He said, buddy, anytime, anywhere, you got to do is call. And, and there have been times where we've been on hunts and, the dogs, if say they're not bayed or something, they're just getting out of pocket, wanting to stroll and just keep going, 3 or 4 miles over here, and they don't want to come back. I'm sure everybody else got a good handle and call their dogs in. We can sometimes I don't want to come in. They're being butts, but
hound dog death.
Yeah. And, so on those nights like that, I won't fault nobody. Hey, you got to get to work in the morning at 5 o'clock and it's 1 o'clock. You done been here with me for 3 hours, man, go on to the house. I got it, But now if they over there and they got one sit down, we got to go get it.
Yeah.
We got
that's
to
what
go.
You signed up for when you open that car door. That's what you signed up for.
Yep. Rodney Bell's got a little dog named Sally, and she gets on her shit sometimes, and she will bay a 5-pound piglet, and I have walked a mile up and down the mountains and go in there, but that's what she done her job.
My main dog is that way, but he'll have his days where he'll bay a 5-pound pig or he'll catch a 180 by himself. That ain't very often, but he will. Great. And sometimes I wonder, I'm like, what? Your danger meter ain't the same on all of these, huh? That's right. But them dogs speak a language, and maybe them pigs understand, and maybe he was talking about my dog's mama. I don't know, but every now and again he get a wild hair.
That correlates right there. What you just said, that correlates real good with the bay pen stuff. A lot of people say that that hog is speaking a language to that dog, and that dog either respects him or he don't respect him.
I believe it 100%. Because
go ahead.
Not every boar hog is the same way either. You got some boar hogs that really, really want to fight. You got some that really, really want to leave the country. That's a different kind of, when you send your catch dog into that too. Like the one that really wants to leave the country sometimes might be a little harder to catch because he's really trying to slip away from your dog. He ain't giving it a second chance to engage with him.
That's right. Right. And I, like I said, going to the bay pen stuff, that really changed a lot of, because I could see a lot of the things that some of my dogs were doing. And of course, with woods dogs, it's a little different, than having pro bay pen dogs. Two totally different animals, but there's some woods dogs that will do it just as well. And I've got some dogs that'll bay good in the pen, and they're not the best by no means, but man, there'll be one hog come out and it's a big old monster, and that dog will snatch that son of a gun up just as quick as anything. Then the next hog comes out and it weighs, like you said, 100, 175, 180 pounds, and that dog he's not going to grab him. He's going to bay him and he's going to face him. He respects him. That hog told that dog something right then.
They speak the language.
He let him know. He was like, "You go on ahead and try it, big guy, and I got you." And then the other hog, he's like, "Look, I'm just trying to get out of here," so they feel a lot more confident.
Oh yeah, I feel like I say it all the time. Animals, especially dogs, are a lot like people. You got some. Not everybody's gonna go up and punch Mike Tyson in the face in his prime. Yeah. You got some that need to be hyped up a little, kind of pack dogging it, Then you got some that kind of need to see you get them down first before they get in. You got those bay dogs that'll do that, only want to get in when it's really sealed. They're not going to be the first or second ones to engage. I feel like people are the same way, man.
Oh yeah. So what kind of dogs do you run? What style? Well, you said more along what style, but what breed of dogs are you running?
All right, as far as bay dogs, and I'm going, I guess, define what I consider a bay dog to be. But for the most part, man, I like a walk across. Okay. I dibble-dabble with other different breeds like blackmouth curs, straight blackmouth curs, different crosses. I had a bird cross before. That didn't work out too well. A bunch of Facebook mutts. I wish I had half the money back I spent on Facebook dogs. Yeah. But after some years and a while, I finally got a good cur walk across, and that seems to be exactly what I want. And when I say that, it's a real versatile dog, for me at least. It'll wind, it'll take a track, you can walk hunt it, you can put it in front of the buggy. Just about anything I've asked to do it, they've done. Now, I do have a couple still curs in the program, but eventually I think I'm going to phase out and be pretty one-dimensional and be walker cur cross on everything. That seems to be the go-to mix for me. I love being able to – I love the versatility that brings to my program. I can literally – I feel as though I can go just about anywhere and catch hogs with those dogs.
And that's saying a lot.
Are your dogs open at all, having that walker in them?
You know what? Surprisingly not. I got a Catahoula that's wide. I ain't going to say wide open. If it breaks, he's going to bark behind it, screaming like you're pouring hot grits on him for about 80 yards. But that doesn't bother me too much. So even if I did have an open dog, it's not a deal breaker for me, so to say, if they're stopping it, if they're putting an end to it. Because some dogs just want to run it forever. Say it again?
I said if they finish in the hunt, that's the thing.
Exactly.
I
don't want one that's just I don't want one that's just running for exercise. And I need you to really try to reel them in.
There you go.
But as far as not barking on track, no, man, they really don't. I forgot the original question, but no, yeah, as you can see, I really love that walker cur cross, man. It's just the right amount of what I consider grit. And what I consider grit is just stopping it or running it down and getting it to turn enough times to where you're getting them to bay up.
Yeah, that's
my preferred style. I don't like a real rough dog because before anything, I was a bulldog man. Yeah. So I kind of don't want to take the job away from those dogs, if I'm being completely honest.
That's right.
I like the fact that hog hunting provides a job for a lot of these dogs that are outlawed a lot of pace and looked down on and spat at pretty much. I almost consider myself an advocate for them, so I don't want to put them out of a job, which is, like I say, one of the more so reasons why I run the pack of dogs I do.
There you go. On the bulldog stuff, I get it. And, we were talking about making these run and catch dogs and all that. And the whole reason I done that is because I had a good yard of game dogs. And it was hard to incorporate them into what I was doing. Like you said, they were for a lot of people out there listening, they were for a different thing, you know.
Yes, sir.
And so I was trying to make them do something that they really didn't fit. But those specific dogs, not that game dogs don't do it, because they do it great. And so I said, man, I'm going to make this other dog, blah, blah, blah. And all these years have went by, and every single time I'm like, all you need is a good bulldog.
Yes, sir.
You're taking away so much stuff, and from somebody who's put in a decade, and I couldn't tell you how many thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to have a dog that'll do what another dog will already do for you. You know, I had a good time, but I'm right back to still having my game stock. And what
I'm going to say something, and it's going to get me canceled from social media.
No.
But there is no cur dog that can catch harder than a bull. I know people like to argue that
there's not.
Cur dog
there's not.
that'll do this and do that, and one never got away, and it caught this and your cur dog is not catching harder than a bull. I don't trust your bulldog,
or their bulldog ain't worth a shit.
Yes,
I'm telling you,
they ain't never seen a real one.
You show me a 8-month-old cur dog that will grab a 200-pound hog and pop the whole snout off. Listen, if you got it, I'll say I'm wrong, and I want the dog. I'll buy him. Put your money, put it up. I got you.
Okay, but then there's one, and then there's majority.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If there is one, I imagine
we've had a couple like Charlie.
Oh yeah, I've had a couple that was rough, bad rough, but it's not the same.
We've all seen rough cur dogs for sure.
Yeah, it's not the same though.
That'll go, but yeah, I can't trust a cur dog to do a bulldog's job. I'm sorry. And I know a lot of people are going,
oh, boy, Ralph, you thinking it, boy, you just treading on that thin water, son.
I already know.
What bloodline of bulldogs do you prefer now, or that you have now?
Do I prefer now, man? I like to run a saucy blend of a couple different bloods, man. I've had the pleasure of incorporating some of Jeff Benison's blood. He laid a good foundation for me.
Yeah.
And some Danger Zone and some Camelot crosses.
I got you.
And like I say, I felt like the foundation was already there for the dog. So it was really easy for me to put my own little, what I consider twist and blend on it. And I hate to say a twist and blend because, people who are credited for a certain blood, they don't like to say, here you say you put your twist on something they thought was already established. So I'll just say my version of my dogs, what you see now, is what I wanted to produce the whole time.
There you go. And if that's where you're at with it, you're successful.
I think so. As far as success in my program, I made a post the other day how I have hunted with the last 4 generations of catch dog on my camp have all been produced by me. It's always been the same result. Some of them a little different than the others, but I can almost guarantee, and I hate to use that word too, but I know what I'm going to get before they even hear.
That's right.
At this point, I'm picking preferences over puppies as far as size and whatever other things we're going to choose a pup by. But I know the results I'm going to get, and if it fails, I'm okay with that too. I know what to do next.
There you go.
Well, I know what not to do too.
That's right, and that's the joy of having your stuff established.
Yes, sir.
Is you already know, like if you get a pup, like you said, you're out of preference. You pick this pup, and it doesn't do quite what you thought it should do, or that all the other ones have done in the past. You know what to look for. You know what happened. There's a reason. It's not like, oh, well, that's just, like you get them off Facebook or somewhere, or all these peddlers out here, they're going to tell you whatever what you want to hear. But when you have your own stuff established, man, it's just, that's the way to be.
It's a different feeling. And like I say, for me, I've got a very particular style and like how I like my dogs. And it's good to know I don't have to search the internet far and wide to find it. I've got a whole mess of them, but I've got some in my backyard right now.
There you go.
Me personally, I like if we're talking catch dogs, a medium large dog to me is like a 65, 60-pound male.
Yeah.
I love to be around that zone, deep, broad chest, long wind, just not a super leggy dog, but not a super squatty one either.
Yeah.
Kind of like a balanced dog. I can send them from 200 yards if need be, but for the most part, he's walking in with me to every bay.
There you go.
I'm talking 30. I can walk him up almost and kiss the hog a lot of times.
Mm-hmm. And that seems to be what I like as far as a walk-in as well. We do tend to have some dogs that are a little smaller just because of the bloodlines.
And that's fine.
But they produce.
Everybody's got their own preference.
Yeah, but they do the job. And there's a lot of times, like if we've got, say we grab one of the smaller dogs, we grab two of them. I grab two of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying one dog can't handle the job by no means, but if we go with you, he's in there, and you got a big boy in there. If I got two of them, why make it any harder on one of them?
And that comes from being a smart dog runner, man. People sometimes put their dogs to unnecessary tests to satisfy their curiosity. Yeah. They want to send the super tiny dog in there to see what it'll do so they can make a post about it.
Yeah.
So they can say, my 15-pound dog hung on for 30 minutes. He was getting slung and never regripped. I'm like, what was you doing?
Yeah, why did it take you that long to get there? I mean,
why are you watching it?
I've raised I've raised Jags and Patterdales for years and years. So, I mean, I've seen little dogs that was tough, ain't no doubt. And
yeah, their heart can't be measured. I'll tip my hat to those little dogs.
And we crossed the Patterdales with some game dogs. We crossed the Jags with the game dogs. Then we did 3-way crosses. We crossed them back with bird bulls. We crossed them with bird dogs. We crossed them with cur dogs.
So you thought very highly of these dogs. Very highly.
I've had Yog Terriers I've had Yog Terriers since I started hog hunting. I still have them, and I'll have them till I die. I have found nothing.
I like to actually hunt behind one.
Well, there's different ones, Ralph. You got imported bloodlines, and I'm not saying I'm an expert on all this stuff. I've just had a lot of them. They don't work as well for me. I'm not saying they don't work.
Most imports typically going to voice on track.
They're gonna bark a lot, and they're gonna be more of a kamikaze style dog. We run a Dixieland line. Scott All started it 40 years ago. Tends to be a little bit bigger dog, almost like a small cur dog. Then ours are silent. Every now, like if they're looking at him, they might squeal a little bit. Sometimes they won't say nothing.
Sometimes they babble when they strike track.
Yeah, well, they'll bark. We've got a line out of Clay Austin's stuff. And every one of those dogs, when they strike, they'll bark 3 times. 3 times. Every one of them. And I'm talking about for over 15, 18 years.
Yeah.
They'll bark, and that's it.
Bacon did it.
And they're gone. And then they won't say another word until they're stopped. And they're going to catch a small hog. They'll bay a bigger hog. Unless they're having a bad mood, then they'll try him. You know, they can get rougher. They're a rougher style dog. And man, I'm telling you, but the nose on them, dude, that Oscar dog I just sent back to Mr. Kiefer, I had him for a long time. Mr. Kiefer had him before I did. He's originally out of the same bloodline. Off of that dog's mama was a puppy out of one of my dogs. But anyway, I don't know how many bear the dog has shot out over. He's 11 years old now, and I mean, like, he'll rig, he'll wind, he'll start barking before any other dog. Wait, and I ain't talking about just a few seconds. I'm talking about a long time before any other dog's going to open up. He'll open on the box and say, "Hey, let me out."
And getting after him.
Oh, and there ain't no stopping. Like he'll go miles.
I don't have an opinion on that because I've never seen those dogs work in person.
Yeah,
it's cool to hear those stories. I like to hunt behind one and actually see it.
There's some good ones out there. I mean, there's a lot of people that producing good ones, but man, they started doing them like they did the old school pit bulls. Everybody started getting them and started breeding them, and they didn't pay attention and stuff. And
most people don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, now there's so many. You know,
I say that again.
Exactly.
People don't know what they're doing.
They don't know what they're doing.
I knew the game was messed up when my high school principal started breeding dogs. I say, "What the heck you doing with dogs?"
Exactly. Well, the last ones that I went and got, the last ones that I bought, I'll put it this way, was Kiken and Dagger. and they actually came out of my old female when Clay had her. And
now, when you say Dagger, are you talking about the blood, or are you saying you named the dog?
The dog's name was Dagger.
Oh, okay.
Now I used to have some of the Dagger bloods. I know what you're talking about too. But I actually went and bought both those dogs back because they were the only two that were still out that came out of any of our bloodlines. Betty was another one. Went and bought Betty and bought Oscar. That was the only living puppies that was left. And Freddie Beasley had one. And that dog was, it done been demolished so many times. It was barely alive. So I didn't even try to buy it back. But other than that,
Freddie Beasley tested dog.
I went and got every single dog that had left the yard. And I can only go back to the dog I started with on my yard. Even today, out of that many years, and there's only been 3 breedings over 15 years. Because I ain't breeding for nobody but me at all.
And I'm the same way, man. I get a lot of messages on Facebook about breeding dogs, and not to say I won't breed if something tickles my fancy, but for the most part, if I feel like I'm in no need for a dog, I'm not going to do it. And nothing against those who do, because if you got something that you feel like the world needs to have, by all means, do so. But for me, at this current point in time, I'm only breeding if I'm short. And at this current moment, I don't feel like I'm too short, but I do have one plan for next year, maybe. But go ahead. Yeah, like I said, that whole breeding for money thing is a touchy subject for a lot, man.
It is. Because I mean, now you can find these little Jags for $200 or $300, and when my first ones, you talking $2,000 or $3,000, and they was going to be shipped in from another country, and now they're everywhere. Yeah,
but you also get what you pay for too, man, even though they're everywhere.
I tell them all the time. Yep, tell them all the time. Put your dog on the box and let's go. Let's see what's happening. And, hey, and if that dog, there's a good chance. There's always a chance. There's always a chance it could be something better. But it's going to have to be something.
And you know, I know that's going to get me some flack too, saying you get what you pay for. I want to clean that up and say there are good free dogs out there too, people.
Free dogs.
They are good free ones out there, but you are going to go through some. You're going to go through them. I promise you.
I gave a dog away yesterday. I did.
Exactly.
I did. And the only reason I'm doing it is because we got so many of these young dogs. And I know there's a big world of excuses for that shit. There's people, man, I got other dogs. I got young dogs. I got too many dogs and blah, blah, blah. I do. I got 40-something head.
And it makes it hard for people like you who are doing it the right way, because you might get bombarded with questions about the dog, and the dog is legitimately what you say it is.
And see, but I'm not even going to advertise it, though. I had a guy call me, and man, he's one of the first guys I ever hunted with. And he told me, he said, man, I need a good bulldog. And I said, you've been looking for one? He said, no, I didn't figure I need to call nobody else. It's okay.
You called the right guy.
And I said, you know what? And I got to thinking, I said, and it's my personal dog. And I've done got this one where, I mean, he don't pull on lead.
He's pretty plug and play.
He's pretty plug and play. And I told him, he was like, well, what do you want for him? I said, man, you know I ain't selling this dog. Come on. He said,
man, and that's go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, so I told him, I said, you just come get him. And he was like, well, man, you know, anything I got, if you need it, you just let me know. And so the dog has a great handle on it. After he catches, he'll sit down right there beside you. He ain't pulling, he ain't chewing, he ain't barking, he ain't doing nothing. He just wants you to pet him. That's it.
Man, say that again for the people in the back. I was going to say, a lot of people, I feel like, personally, get it mixed up between a dog that has sink teeth and a catch dog.
Yeah.
All the stuff you were just naming is signs of person that catches a lot of hogs, not the person who catches one a year and just wants the Facebook picture, and their catch dog is all over the place and out of control and grabbing everything on the way out and screaming in the box and screaming everywhere. And just me, that's not a catch dog. That's a feral animal that'll sink teeth in another feral animal.
Yes.
Difference between a dog that'll catch and a catch dog.
Yeah. We did a little we did a podcast on that not long ago about that's what it's it was supposed to have been the topic of it was, what's the difference between a catch dog and a dog that'll catch? You know,
then like running catch dogs, and we just kind of
just kind of break it down from our point of view. You know, and that doesn't mean that we're right, but
because this is a philosophy, it ain't no science.
Yeah.
There's a million different ways to skin this cat.
And everybody's got their own ways. Like when I first started, my catch dogs were dragging me all through the woods. Like my knuckles were bruised up from briars, and I just thought that's what they were supposed to do. I guess I didn't know. I didn't know any better because I hadn't seen any better.
Yep.
I thought that's what they were supposed to do. Then I saw a guy with an actual handle on his dogs.
There you go.
And I was thoroughly embarrassed because at this point, the dog I was hunting with was fairly known, and that guy showed up with his third string stuff, just showing me up, just making me look like my dogs never had a collar on them.
Yeah. I that's one thing that I promote 100% is handle. And all my dogs do not handle like that. I promise you. But it's not from lack of trying and constantly putting it in them. We keep young dogs rolling all the time. I actually like my dogs. I guess what people would say a finished dog. I give them away. I give them to other guys, young guys who's starting out. I'll give them a dog that has caught.
What do you consider a young guy? Because I take some of them finished dogs you're giving away. I'll take them.
I'm serious. Like I just sent a 10-year-old dog she's a little slower now, but
mountain curve
to get stuff started, she's as accurate as it is. I had that dog for probably 8 years, and one time at one stinking time, and that was last year, she trashed on the armadillo. And I told everybody, I turned around and looked, we carried some guys from West Virginia hog hunting. And I laughed. I said, boys, y'all are in for a treat today. And my brother-in-law, he looked at me, he said, she's never done that. I said, this old girl is so fired up, she ain't waiting on nothing. And let me tell you, after putting 18 back to back 18 times on the tailgate, that night, I said, Lord, sign her up for hog dog. She is a hog dog. And that's
18, she was doing it.
Dude, we stroked them. It was, and the hog with the biggest teeth that I'd ever caught here, she actually was down there, her and one of Rodney Bell's dogs, them two was running together. And then I had a male dog, he come around the back and slipped in and caught the old boar hog going out. But they're the ones that got that one up and got it going too. We had a field day. I wish all our hunts were like that, but they're not, you know. And
that's what a lot of people don't understand too. I feel like they get this preconceived notion from some social media outlets, and they think we're just some areas are overrun with hogs, but a lot of people think we got hogs like we got bugs.
Yeah.
And anybody can do it. And my response is always, if anybody can do it, everybody would.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people try, but not a lot of people are very successful at it.
And on that right there, what kind of land?
And dedication.
You got a lot of private land that you're hunting like that, or public?
I hunt public land. I've got a few leases, and I'm in a pretty large club, man. So the dogs get to run very often, man. And
so that,
I say, just
go ahead.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
I said so that's what I've been kind of wondering. Like with Florida, I've talked to a few people, and they have larger tracts of land than we do here. Used to we had big places, but now it's a lot smaller. But so the public land seems to be a good thing in Florida. Like, you know, you have access to it's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so we actually got access to some slim pickings for certain weekends and stuff. But I will say, we do get to hunt some state land. It's gonna be overcrowded.
I was going to say it's gonna be some pressure on them. Them hogs gonna run.
But that's what legs are made for.
That's right.
Mine are made for sitting in the truck. The dogs are made for running.
There you go. And here's the thing: if you got a high pressure area, that don't matter. If you got good dogs, it don't matter. Just go in there and catch them.
Just go in there and catch them. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, I mean, you might not catch all. You might not catch as many, but you can still catch hogs, even if somebody just ran through there. You know,
man, I have just as much fun on the days I don't catch none, as the days when I catch 10.
I don't. I don't. Ralph, I can't stand it.
I do. I have fun watching those dogs scroll out. Now, is it preferred? No. Do I try to duplicate that? No.
Yeah,
but I still have a good time because I think about if this is a bad day for me, somebody else would die to be in this position. So that's what I mean when I say I know, enjoy, man.
I'm just messing
with
you.
I enjoy it just as much. But on a 10 hog day, man, it depends on the kind of help you got with you.
Yeah.
That's not enjoyable sometimes.
No, that's what I was. Hey, that night I was talking about with old Susie, man, we had good help though, so it was an absolute great time. I think it was about 11:30 that night. Turned around, looked at I think the guy's name was Davey. I said, well, we can go up here and I got one more spot. We can go hit it. He looked. He said, "Mr. Joey, I'll be honest with you, man. If you good, we're full. We got plenty." I said, you sure? He said, "I don't know how many we caught." He said, "But I'm telling you now, we caught a bunch." I said, "Yeah, we caught a bunch." And
I always like when the other person's the one that wants to go because deep down inside, I'm like, I'm ready to go home. But
I was ready to go 3 hours ago.
More? Yeah. What if they still want some more?
Well, and that's why your success is going like it is, Ralph, because you want to make sure everybody has their goal accomplished.
If you hunt with me, I promise it. If we don't have any results, it's not going to be from lack of trying.
Yep.
Sometimes I'll out hunt the dogs. Dang it.
Yep.
I promise
it. Hey, we've been there too.
But to me, honestly, being in the woods is honestly therapeutic. When I haven't been for a couple weeks or a dry spell, it starts to wear on me. My wife will sometimes we'll have some exchange words. She'll say, "Just go hunting. Just go hunting." But I'll come back a new man every time.
There you go.
It's just you need that escape sometimes, and for me, it is being outdoors, watching my dogs chase butterflies, and butterflies sometimes take them to the hogs, I guess. I don't know.
We do that with armadillos. We're going to follow the armadillos. We're going to follow them armadillos, and then we get to the pigs.
Well, you can use the excuse a lot of people say, man, them armadillos smell like pigs.
Oh, they smell just like them. They're low to the ground. And their belly rubs on that ground. I'm telling you, that's what it is.
You think that's what you believe that?
Hell no.
I was going to say,
listen, them dogs there ain't no hogs right there. You need to put the dogs in sign. Put them in hog sign. You ain't going to catch all the other stuff. Put them where the pigs are at.
I feel like that's when the game changed for me because just like you said, you got to be where the hogs are at. If you ain't around hogs, you can't expect to catch none. I got rid of some dogs back in the day unnecessarily so because of my own ignorance of hog pattern, hog movement, and just general knowledge. So it wasn't the dogs that was the problem, it was me. And once you really go scout an area or really go to where you think they are and get off your high horse and stop thinking dogs are robots and actually walk a block every now and again, it'd be amazing what you can achieve.
I think a lot of people lose that grasp like you're just talking about because when we all get started good and we're young, man, we got the boots on the ground. We're out there, we're beating the bushes, we're hunting. And the better the dogs get, the worse we get. Sometimes.
I absolutely agree.
And I don't mean it in a bad way. Yeah. You just get a little lazy. That's why we got dogs.
I feel like my catch dogs have a better handle because I got lazier, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can get some good stuff.
I went from my dogs dragging my knuckles through briars to him almost tripping you sometimes without a leash on. He's right there. He's looking for my confirmation. Now, that comes from spending a lot of time with him, obviously, but it is possible. I know a lot of people like to think of pit bulls or war horse and a no-brain animal and not capable of a lot of things, but you'd be surprised, man, with the enough time what this breed is capable of.
Oh, without a doubt.
And that's not just to say bulldogs only, but any dog you spend a lot lot with.
Yep.
Now some of them not, but we ain't talking about them. We talking about the regular ones with all the brain cells.
That's right. Well, we were in the house earlier and we got off work and came home and Nathan's little Catahoula, Eminem, he told him, he's like, go over and shut the door. The door was open. Dog goes over there, first he barks at Nathan, looks at him. Nate was like, no, go shut the door. The dog finally, he goes over there and shuts the door, then he comes back. Cause because there's that scenario. The dog knows what to do. He's smart. He's got all the sense in the world, and he's been trained to do that because of all the time that was took up to do it. But he wasn't trying to shut the door, man. He wanted to get some petting right then.
He wanted to be a shithead and play. And I'm like, no, we're practicing right now, man.
He said, we're working.
You got to use your mind. You ain't been thinking in a while. You ain't thought since like yesterday. Come on.
But
the consistency.
I tell you what goes hand in hand to me is a lot of guys looking for dogs versus time they spent with the ones they have. Like, how many people do we all know that's got 10, but will comment on every puppy for sale post, or they're always looking for something? I'm like, what about what's in your current yard? See, me, I'm from a small town, Live Oak, Florida. Went to Swanee High School there. We didn't have a lot of pickings for the sports team. You know, you had to develop what you had. And I kind of pretty much incorporate that throughout my yard now. Is I'll use what I got. Not to say what I got is mediocre, but if you put some actual time into it, you'll see some actual results versus everybody wants that track star right out the gate that's picking it up like he's 4 years old, 8 months old. I want that too, but that rare is it that happens.
I agree. And I would almost say that I would rather have the dog that is not doing as well at 8 months old, but really starts picking it up at 16 or 18 months old. I'd almost rather even have.
It's going to be higher.
Yeah. I mean, I that's me. That's just my personality, you know, because a lot of times I'm going to wait for that dog to mature. But now a lot of them, they're still going to be, they would have done it at 8 months old. If they show me the interest, I'll be like, no, I'm going to put them up a little while longer. And now this is no joke. I have lost that game too. I've had a dog that was at 6, 7, 8 months old and blowing it out of the water. And then at 18 months old, wouldn't even do it. You know, I don't know what happened.
Hustling backwards.
Hustling backwards. Yeah, I don't know what happened. You know, it's nothing I did. But generally, these were dogs I got from someone else. And actually, all of them were. And I'm not tooting my own horn. It's because I don't know the history of the dog as well as I know my own. So unless I know that person very well, I don't even really care to have a dog from them. We're trying a lot of new stuff with these cur dogs, and we got some stuff from out of Pat Lewing's yard, and I know Uncle Pat pretty good, and I know the dogs he's got, and they put game on the tailgate. Now it ain't no telling what it's gonna be, but I promise you they ain't gonna be under your feet. They'll keep you fed.
Meat dogs.
The very first time I got one from Cody Jeffcoats out of his female and out of Uncle Pat's male. First time I carried that dog to the woods, that rascal was gone for 3 days. And I'm talking about a puppy. I was like, well, he didn't keep my feet warm at all.
He'd get about 150 yards and he'd look at you and he'd be like, come on, let's go. And I'd be like, no, come with me. What are you talking about? No, I ain't going with you.
He was ready to cast.
He was ready to go back.
Yeah.
And I was like,
hell, to be out there.
So as soon as turkey season's over here in a few weeks, he gonna get all he wants.
Gonna run the pads off of him.
You know, and I'm hoping he still holds true to that. That was right around the end of deer season.
Yeah, and that's like with M. Like M's, he started doing real good at the end of last summer. And what we've been doing the past few years with a lot of young dogs, as soon as like, hey, they have 2-3 real good hunts, I put them up for 2 weeks. I don't want them
to think about it.
I just want them to think about it, want them to sit on it. I don't know if
sometimes that's what it takes, man. Everybody always talks about something clicking in a dog too. It's like, man, I put them up for X amount of time and then I put them back in and bam, it's like a light bulb went off, man. That is so true with some of these dogs. It's like you can be at your wit's end trying to figure out why ain't this dog doing it, but the siblings are. And sometimes dogs stay a little too long and one day it just clicks.
We seen that Sunday. Rodney's got some puppies. And had 4 of them?
Yep.
And one of them started immediately. The second one took just a little longer. He got fired up. Well, the third one started, but the last one, the female, she wasn't even worried about it. She wasn't studying it. And I told Rodney, I was like, man, just put her up a little while. I think they're 5 months old, you know. We'll just let them see something, see if they was going to work it all. I told him, I said, man, you put them in the dog box. You drove about an hour down here. First time they ever been out of the kennel. I said, hell, 3/4 of them went in there and bathed. Hey, they doing pretty good.
Yeah. At 5 months old, I'm happy to see them perk their ears up, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah,
if they show any interest, they're not going to be, I can't expect too much out of a 5-month-old puppy.
I agree 100%.
But I'm going to get crucified for that too.
No.
You got people whose dogs was winding them at 4 months old, you know.
Oh, yeah.
and that's what the same concept. But then again, it's always cool to see because part of our breeding program is early starters. We want dogs that take to it like fish to water. I want those natural starters. Don't want a dog that you got to wait 2 years till they start doing it good. Now, I'd just rather them kind of be starting to put it together pretty good at a year.
But but this is something new. You're not going to find that all the time. You're
not going to find it all the time, man.
No, especially
if you're constantly looking for that specifically, you're going to go through a lot of dogs, in my opinion.
And we do. Like, I mean, seriously,
I say starting early, I mean by a year.
Yeah.
Just like
at a year old.
Now, what do you consider starting? Like actually starting to roll out on the track independently?
No. Like just starting any interest, just wanting to work in any capacity.
Yeah, going to hunt,
it'll do something.
Yeah,
I feel like somebody need to come out with a hog dog book with a timeline that says it's okay if your dog is this old and not displaying these signs.
Exactly.
Guys are so quick to give up on a dog so early that's not doing it. I'm like, man, what if my mama would have called me for not making it to the NBA?
That's what I'm saying. How many of the best dogs were called already? Ain't no telling.
Ain't no telling.
There's no telling about it. Like when Nate was talking about that M&M dog last year, he was 10 months old, 9 or 10 months old. He was out running all our lead dogs. I mean, and we did not put him with other dogs to get him started. I had other dogs in the box. I noticed
that's been key on a lot of the good dogs, standalone dogs.
All right, so I wouldn't put him with other dogs. And I told Nate, I said, well, let's try it this way. First time, that son of a gun bayed a whole group of hogs. It was like 6 hogs, and they broke. We actually pulled around and broke them, and just to see how, if he's going to stick with them. He stayed with them. He went 3/4 of a mile, and then we were trying to get to him that time, and then they broke again.
And then he went about 2.
It was a little over 2 miles. And after like about 3 hours, he finally came back to us.
Yeah, so he came back, and I was happy about that. I was happy about him coming back more than I was running the pigs. I was like, hell yeah, he came back when I caught him.
Yeah,
I got some buddies that run rough dogs that they hearing you say the dog ran for 2 miles and was gone for this. They probably just sweating bullets right now. Like, what the dog did? What and did? Nah. But me personally, I don't mind that. That's my preferred style. If the dog runs out of bounds here and there and runs it for a while, I'm okay with that. I'm there for a good time.
Well,
catching a hog to me is a bonus.
Well, that was his first hunt.
Yeah, and M's a bay dog. He might nip one or something like that, but like you said, he's more along the lines of somebody else or a couple somebody else is going to have to catch it before he really knots up on it. He thinks he's bad, but he's a puss.
And then, but now
he'll probably live a long time.
Yeah,
that's the goal because he's also a house dog. So it's like he stayed with my wife she's just finishing up her semester at college. So like if she's there by herself, like, hey, he's a little defensive. He will bite someone. So I want to keep him around. I really like the dog. I enjoy him. He's not just a hunting dog. Now he still needs to hunt. I ain't gonna have no pet just for the sake of having a pet.
High strung.
He needs a job.
I tell you what, I feel the same way. And I will say this. A lot of people don't like actually petting their hunting dogs and showing their dogs any affection. I understand your dad never told you he loved you, but come on, man. Every now and again, it's okay to stroke your dog on the head and say, attaboy.
Yeah.
All you tough guys listening, I know, but man, I see that so often with a person that just don't want to give their dog no sort of affection. I just feel bad for the dog.
I was rolling around in the grass an hour before we called, rubbing my game dog, petting her down. Baby Jade. She's 10, 11 months. I still call her Baby Jade.
And that dog will walk to the edge of the earth for you, I guarantee it.
I love that dog.
Yes, I don't see anything wrong with, showing your dog attention. Now, if you're out there and they want to just start hanging around and, especially with younger dogs, it's like...
Let me read it. I don't mean in the field, like more so like at the house, and I feel like that's part of how I do start to train my catch dogs, is showing them a lot of affection, letting them know this is what I want you to do, and really getting on them, scalding them for behaviors that I don't. But I feel like it can't be all negative reinforcement all the time, because what's his motivation to do anything for you?
Yep.
In my opinion, but I've seen that work for some guys, and more power to them. They tapped into their other sense and they speak animal now.
Well, there's and a lot of it I think it's going to be on the dog too.
Louis Nate, don't care.
Nate's got another dog that's he's a totally opposite. He don't want you to touch him.
He just ain't worried about it.
Some bitch, all he wants to do is run.
But when he wants you to pet him, he'll come up and give you some sugar. I'll be like, Louis, quit licking me.
Yeah.
And then he might be like 30 seconds of that, and then I might not get to pet him for another week. He's like, don't touch me.
Yeah, he's not interested in all that. He wants to work, but at the same time, you got this other dog over here that craves this affection and attention. He works just as good. He works just as good, if not better.
It's just down to the personality of the dog.
So I don't see what that's going to hurt the dog.
No, but I think that goes back around to people. Like, dogs and animals are like people. You got some people that don't need an attaboy. They kind of want you to get the hell away from them. They don't want your affection. They just need to know they're doing a good job. That's and that might not even come from affirmation from you.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And so, talking about doing all this, how do you incorporate that in to getting a handle on your dogs? We've talked about a little bit about the handle of a dog, like on your bulldogs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
What do you do to get a good handle on your dogs? Besides, I know we spend a lot of time with them, but it's like some techniques.
Some techniques is, man. I really like a catch dog that looks back at me for confirmation. So I learned this actually from the show ring when I had my short stint there. I'll keep a treat, like let's say some beef jerky kind of sort of in my lip. So I'll let them know I've got it there. I'll feed them little pinches of it. I know that sounds nasty.
Oh, no,
but I'll feed him little pinches of it. So he's constantly always looking for me for the treat. He's looking in my face. He's looking in my eyes. I feel like we're really getting that connection. I know that's one of the weird little things, but I spend a lot of times with my dogs, man. And I actually will go in my yard and talk and have whole conversations like they can understand me.
Oh, I think that's what's wrong with most guys like us. Like, it's we all thought we were crazy until we got to meet other people that was just as crazy as us.
And then you're like, this guy gets it.
Yeah.
But as far as handle on a dog, man, honestly, it's a lot of time. All jokes aside, a lot of time, a lot of different scenarios. Sometimes I put my dogs in positions to act out, cut up, just so I can get on them immediately, like right there every time. Like, I might put him out and start walking him on a lead right next to a dog that I know is going to raise Cain for another dog being out. Now, if he breaks focus on me, I might really reprimand him for that, and I need him to know me every time. And when he does what I need him to do, he'll get that treat that I've got located in my mouth. It's not a dip, it's beef jerky.
Yeah, I got you.
So I feel like that's one of the little things I do, but it's a lot of things you can do with your dog, and each dog is different. I've got some dogs that don't care nothing about a treat. They might like a toy. I've got some dogs that like a head rub more than they like being fed every day. So finding each dog's motivation levels and just really homing in on that one. I feel like you can't make a general plan for getting a handle on a dog when every dog is different.
There you
go. You got some dogs that are a little high pace and fast learning. You got some that are a little knuckle dragging, a little slower, but we love those too.
That's right.
Yeah. So with your catch dogs, like you was talking about, like that dog not even on a leash and about tripping you, are you training all your catch dogs to walk off leash?
Now, absolutely. Now all of them are being trained that way because I feel like I can maneuver through the woods a lot better. The number one reason I hear a lot of guys saying they don't even like catch dogs, or the reason they went to all rough dogs, is because their catch dog is dragging them all over the place. And
exactly.
To be honest with you, if I didn't have such a love for bulldogs, I'd probably be one of them people with rough dogs.
Yeah.
But because I didn't want to put them out of a job, I found a better way because I saw a better way.
That's right. And that's, like I said, that's what we went to. It's like, well, I was in a position where I couldn't keep as many of my bulldogs and stuff. So I was like, well, I'm just going to go to rough dogs. And I, don't get me wrong. We caught a lot of, and we caught them fast. Like there was very seldom, there wasn't many hogs got away, but there was a lot of staple guns used, and there was a lot of new dogs all the time.
That's my thing. I don't want to be training dogs every 5 months.
Dude, yeah, 5 months. Shit, I'm talking about every 5 weeks sometimes. It was horrible, man. And I mean, we did. Everybody said when me and Rodney and Nate and all of us first started hunting together, I told Rodney asked about how many, because every time we'd go hunt, we would bring one or two of the same dogs, and then we'd have 2 or 3 different dogs. And he was like, "How many dogs do you have?" I said, "Man, I don't know. I got a bunch." And finally, one day he come down here. We were walking around. He was like, "Well, you got a lot of dogs." I said, "No, that's just the ones right here. We can go to the dog yard." He said, "What?" I said, "We go out here to these, 20 kennels, and then, another 30 chain spots, and then come over here to this section. And then we got another 20 over here." I mean, we were keeping 60 head on average.
Yeah, Lee, I hate to see your feed bill, man.
It was ridiculous.
We down to about 40 right now. We doing good.
Yeah, down to 40. Yeah.
Down to, hey,
that ain't a lot of dogs.
And
it's a lot less than
you know what?
60.
That's according to the person.
But
that's
now,
according to. I've seen 100 dog yards.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's crazy to me. I couldn't imagine that.
Now, not all of these are just for hog dogs. Like we got some squirrel dogs. We've always got a couple of them. And then it really got out of hand like that when I was doing the breed program that I had going, because I tried so many different things. And then, like I said, I would never get rid of my little terriers. I said, they ain't going nowhere. And man, honestly, I've got where I've been starting to place them here and there, but I'm always going to keep a couple. I got to have a couple of them, but anyway, you can't put the right amount of time into each of those dogs without doing it full time every day. And that's what it takes.
You've gotta be dedicated, man. And me, I feel like being a dog fanatic totally goes right up my alley, because when I do something, I almost obsess over it. I want to really see what I can do to better myself. Every day I'm looking, learning, and just trying new different things. Some things work, some things don't. And what works, I incorporate in the future. And what doesn't work, I don't incorporate it on that dog.
How many dogs do you have? I mean, you ain't got to tell us or nothing if you don't want to, but I was just saying, about how big is your yard, out of curiosity?
So I have 14 kennel spots, and I have 5 chain spots. And
that's still that's a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I've got 4 empty kennel spots right now, and if those are wondering why I've got empty kennel spots, because the dogs on the chain ain't got no business in the kennel. They are wild animals, and everybody knows the kind of dogs I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's right.
So they would destroy a kennel.
Yeah, and people who've never had those dogs, they need to dog sit for a week.
Like Kiki came home one time, and this dog was coming out of the metal roof of the kennel. He was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. Well, it was the ridge cap that was on the metal roof. She actually had climbed through the rafters, because I'd put the hog panels, the hog wire, the thick panels. I'd put them all the way up to the ceiling, all the way around, to keep her from, chewing out and trying to climb out. And she came out of the ridge cap. And when I got home, she was halfway out. I'm glad I got there when I did, because it probably would have been a lot worse. She probably would have got cut up. But I was like, if these dogs don't want to stay in, they're not staying in. There's nothing you can do. They're going to.
Yeah, some dogs are just wired differently, man. And you have those type of dogs that are fine for months, and then one day decide they just want to raise cane.
Yeah. Yep. And I seen some pictures of your
can make
kennels.
some problems.
I seen some pictures of his the kennels you had on. I think.
Did you see them?
Man, dude,
they sweet.
I see.
I appreciate that. I took a lot of time in the thought of it, at least. I really drew a blueprint on a napkin, and I think this is what I wanted to do, man. And since this is something I love, I want it to be something that reflects me. And anybody that knows me knows I like going against the grain. The world's full of enough 4-door sedans and vanilla ice cream. They're to be different,
Hell yeah.
Do your own thing. Be original. Contribute to what we're doing. Bring your own flavor to it.
That's it.
Yeah,
I had a buddy tell me, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done my kennels red. And I said, that's why no one will remember you when you die.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing about it. Hey, I didn't even know, like I said, now I think that's about the time I started, keeping up with you and stuff like that. I was like, man, I seen them kennels. I said, damn, look at them kennels.
Yeah.
And I remember a guy that was a lot younger one time that was building nice kennels and all that stuff. And then I was like, then I got old and I was like, listen, and now, I got 75 dogs and I'm tired.
Hey, you helped me build a few kennels. You helped me build.
I built all the kennels. You were in 5th grade.
No, I said you helped me build some of the ones
I
we
built
got
some
now.
of the ones now, but like Nate does all the stuff now. All I do is talk about it. Nate does the work.
I can't wait for my son to get to that level. I'm counting the days now to where he can come on with me.
He's not going to like you.
He's gonna love me.
Nate loves me, but he don't. Nate loves me, but he don't like me.
What if he likes dogs different than you like, and he's got different things in mind? Because from personal experience, you're gonna butt heads a few times.
Listen, here's what you do now, Ralph. You say, "Look, I'm your daddy, boy. Shut up."
My son or our daughter welcome to have whatever kind of dogs they are able to feed on their own salary.
There you go.
Say that. So they better not fall in love with something I ain't in love with.
That's right. Hey, and that's what me and Nate, when he started getting his own dogs, and me and him talked, you know, because usually I knew all these people and they'd give me a dog or say, hey, this is for your son and all that, but it was through me. When he got his own stuff, I was like, I said, you do it the way you want to do it, you know, this is your deal. And man, we went 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
he carried all his young dogs by himself, his own pack of dogs, and we caught 3 hogs in less than 200 yards from each other in 15 minutes. I said,
you can't beat that.
No, not at all.
I was so happy for my dogs, and I was so happy for myself because, and even if I'm sure, because I tell my dad this all the time because we also work together. We spend a lot of time together, and I'm like, if I make a mistake, I don't even hear my voice critiquing it. I said, Dad, I hear your voice. And it's Joey Wright going, come on, you dumb dickhead, what are you doing? And
I take it you know how to hold a flashlight when he's working.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very still and where his hands are going.
Yeah. Now I hold the flashlight though. Now, Ralph, that's the way it is. So
now you got to get on him. Now you got to go side his head for holding her on.
That's it. Yeah. and you know. And I really, I feel that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to pass this on, you know.
Absolutely. And
instead, you got to learn how to step back and let them go. You know, let them take control. Man, it's hard. I ain't gonna lie.
My son's only 4, and I'm thinking about breeding something to do when he's around 16. You know, maybe. Hopefully, he wants to pick this up and run with it, and he won't have to ask folks for much. But I look at him at the dogs now. He's got a dog right now. We named him Shakedown too because he looks exactly like a dog that I had when I was about his age. I mean, exactly like him.
Wow.
And he is spending. I got to show y'all the picture one day. He'll load this dog up in the back of his Power Wheel and just ride the fence line, looking for tracks. Ain't a pig in the yard, but he's looking for tracks. And yeah, my son, we do that every now and again in a couple of the properties I have. And that's his thing. He'll get out and want to look at every track. Everyone's a pig track, a crow track, a turkey track. They're all hog tracks to him. And
he's going to hunt.
I ain't got the heart to tell him no yet.
I'm telling you, he's going to hunt because I've got 3 boys. I got 5 girls. And out of all my boys, Nate was like that. Luke went with me a good bit, but he never had that. The same thing, and Logan likes to deer hunt and bow hunt and stuff like that. So it's like you could see the difference. You definitely could see the ones. And I never said no. You're going with me. You got to go. Never. I would tell I'd invite them to go. There was times where they didn't want to. That was fine, but after they got a little older, they were like, "Well, man, we don't really spend that much time together." I'm like, "This is what I do. You're welcome to go with me.
Better come out here."
Yep, you're welcome to go with me, and hey, they do. Sometimes they do. But like I said, if he's that young and he's already looking for tracks,
man, he's looking. He'll yell halfway across the route yard he found one, and I'll come running like I know it's one every time just to entertain his spirit, man. But
yes,
tell you what, Daddy ain't got too many more laps running across the yard like that.
I'm gonna tell you something. That 4-year-old will be 24 years old before you know it, man. It goes so fast, bro.
And I tell you what, sometimes I learn the hard way that he's listening and watching everything when he repeats something more.
Oh yeah.
But it also is pretty cool to see him sometimes get a handle on a lead and send a whiplash down at like a slight one to really try to correct this puppy. And I was like, look at him, man. I didn't even tell him to do that. He just picked it up, saw me doing it, and did it.
There you go. So, that's cool too. So that's kind of, I was looking back over these notes and stuff that I had, and honestly, I wasn't even really looking at none of the topics, but man, that's exactly what we're talking about. Like the longevity of this thing, that was one of the topics, like the longevity of our sport and our lifestyle and what we're doing. We've covered training, all that stuff. So what do you think on the actual longevity of it? Not by handing it off to your son, but just in general for the general public and the hunters out there. How do you see this in another 20 years?
Man, hopefully it's still around. And I say that not to be in a negative light, but we have a lot of new people being introduced to the sport, man. And some people are going about it the wrong way, and a lot of people are going about it the right way. But there's definitely, I feel like, been an influx in people who are interested in the sport.
Yes.
So hopefully in 20 years, man, it's just a world-renowned dog sport, man, is my hopes. And we've got a following full of people who are doing the right thing, going about it the right way, their right way, that is. And I just hope it's around, to be honest with you. I really hope it's around. And all I can do is train me and mine and the people who come in contact with me the way I know how to do it.
And the way people come in contact with you now, usually that's face-to-face. That's how everything works. But, man, you got social media and all that stuff. What do you think on the use of social media for that stuff, the information that's out there and the advice that you can give to some of the new people that are starting out? This all goes hand in hand, what we're talking about,
Oh, yeah,
lay
man.
Lay it down for us on that.
Man, I'd say advice for a new person would definitely be to experience a few different hunters in a few different ways. I feel like me personally, I stunted my own growth by putting too much stock into what one person said about what a dog should be. So after you see it 10 different ways, and literally you go with 10 different people, you'll see 10 different ways. Take a little bit from each person. What do you like about this and what do you not like about that? And just become your own person, develop your own dogs to your style. There's a lot of ways to go about cooking, man. Form your own recipe. If everybody's got the same goal, which is to catch hogs, right? Or just to have a good time, whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of build the dog you want to build instead of really letting people influence your thoughts on what a dog should be. I'd say that'd be number one for people, just now getting introduced to the sport, is have your own opinion. A lot of people will give you their opinion. They're only going to give you the opinion that coincides with the well-being of them. A lot of times whatever their belief is, whatever's going to lace their pocket. Me personally, sometimes I turn people away who are qualified to purchase a dog, but if I feel like their lifestyle doesn't match, if you tell me you want a dog, you want to catch dog for me because you want to ride around and look cool and you're going to cram it in a crate 17 hours a day and you don't really have an active lifestyle, it's not the dog for you. So I know I said a mouthful and I went on about a lot, but
no, that's exactly what I want.
That question kind of strikes the nerve with me because, like I say, I did hold a lot of stock in what people were saying and what people have said should be a dog and what shouldn't be a dog and what will work and what won't work until I started doing it myself.
And they'll hold you back, man. It's crazy because they're trying to get you. They want you to believe that they're trying to help you succeed, and they only want you to get is just close enough so they have more good dogs to go hunt with. They don't ever want you better than them. And that's horrible. That's why I said I've been giving away finished dogs that, when I was,
and like I say, when you writing your list of finished dog recipients, hey, make sure Hog Maulers at the top of that list.
And I promise you, I'll send you one. And here's the thing, like you said, but if people are open-minded, and the reason I'm doing that is because I've actually had other guys send me dogs that were phenomenal. They were better than anything I was feeding at the time. And they were like, man, here, take this dog. And I asked the guy one time, I was like, why would you give me your best dog? He's like, well, why would I give you my worst?
Man, that's a true dog man right there.
Exactly. So
a lot of people are going to make up a resume for a dog and sell it to you for top dollar.
Yep. And that has stuck with me for many, many years. And I said, I was talking with Uncle Pat, and Pat was one of those guys who produced great dogs and never let nobody else get them. And the reason was because a lot of the old timers, the generation of men that would be, 60, 70, and 80, they wouldn't help you. A lot. They didn't want to give you the recipe to beat them with. If you were going to the running pins or the box or whatever, they didn't want you to beat them, so they wouldn't help you. And so now,
why would they?
Yeah, now guys like us, that's what we're trying to do. Is like, you know what? If we keep, because now guess what? You can't find all that good blood. That blood's gone. It died with them.
Yeah, they stingy with it.
Yeah, so
whatever
now,
don't work didn't make it.
So
wink, wink.
That's right, exactly. And so now you got, like I said, you got Uncle Pat out here. He's promoting it through breeding dogs and just, hey, he'll send you a dog. But now it can't just be anybody, of course. You know what I mean? You got to be qualified to get it. But he's turning loose of it, and you're not having to pay no outrageous prices or nothing. But these are high performance dogs. And the reason he's doing that is so, his legacy lives on. What are you leaving behind?
Exactly.
And I get that. And that's what I'm trying to get to now. And for these new guys out here, just because that damn guy on Facebook says this dog right here will do it all, I promise you, that dog probably ain't gonna do it all. Or it wouldn't even be on Facebook.
Especially if he's for sale.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not saying there ain't none that can do it all that are for sale, because there are. But a lot of people don't tend to get rid of dogs like that.
If they do, it usually goes to somebody they know. Like if you and one of your buddies that you hunt with, or somebody that's in your area, and you're getting out of dogs, you say, man, or say you got a good dog that just don't fit what you're doing, but it's a good dog. Say you wound up getting a rough dog, and I mean that son of a gun will find a hog every time you drop him. He'll do the whole 9 yards, but that's just not what you use. So
I call my buddy up and say, man, I got a dog that fits you perfect.
Come get this.
And
rascal.
by the time he gets excited, I'll say, I'm giving him to somebody else.
There you go. There you go. That's it. and man, that to me, that's what we should be doing.
Oh yeah, man.
It's trying to help each other.
Some of the best things I've ever had has been somebody's reject.
Yeah.
I've had a dog that's been through 6 hands. And, sometimes desperate times calls for desperate measures sometimes. But that dog actually turned out to be one of the best I ever walked behind. Personally, me personally.
Yeah. I've had a couple of them myself, and, man, was glad to have them. But you do guided hunts and stuff now too, right?
Yes, sir. I just started dabbling into that not too long ago, man. And I tell you what, I thought that I was doing it for me, man. And I ain't going to say for me. I wanted to leave my imprint on the dog hunting world the way I wanted to. But never did I think I'd meet the quality of people I've been meeting. A lot of the people who are going out with me are people who are interested in the sport. Never thought they'd be able to. And, they see me and they say, that seems like a guy I want to go out with. And they think they're learning from me and I'm learning from them. I'm learning people so many different ways, so many different walks of life. People have different reasons for wanting to be out. And for the most part, I find that everybody's got the same reason I do. Yep. They want tranquility. They want peace. They want to be with nature. I know hog hunting is high intensity and blood pumping, but sometimes that if you just sit back and smell the flowers and really absorb what's going on, you can really get the true experience. And like I said, with these guided hunts, man, it's opened me up to a whole new world of different things, man. And meeting the people has been the most rewarding. People have come from, never did I think we come from all over the world to, not all over the world, but from the next county over to come hunt with me,
Yeah. You can come on, quit sandbagging with me now. I didn't say you had folks come in from, Vermont or Pennsylvania, all over the USA, man. Come on, quit. And you ain't even plugged yourself not one time.
Yeah. How do people contact you to go?
Yeah, because he ain't said, "Oh yeah, I do guided hunts. Make sure you call me." Blah 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 blah. All this stuff. Now look at here. Come on.
Well, man, like I say, I've been fortunate. I've met a lot of good people, and those people pass my information along. And I do have a social media. I have a Facebook. I have an Instagram, and I think I have a TikTok if it ain't got canceled, but people normally reach me on Facebook about doing the hunts. And
there you go.
Like I say, we have a good time every time someone contacts me, whether they choose me or not. I enjoy talking dogs. I enjoy talking hogs. I enjoy talking nature.
That's awesome, man. I mean, that's as good as it gets. We you got before we get off of here, we've been on here pretty good a little bit. What kind of good hunting story you got? We've been trying to get a good hunting story, or you just your best day hunting, something like that.
Man,
let's throw it out there and let people hear what it's about.
A good hunting story, man. I was hunting with some guys I went to high school with, Dylan and Cade Carter, and they were telling me they had this yellow dog that would take all kind of hours over the tracks and yada yada yada. And everybody's got a story. I ain't going anyway. I was one of the skeptics, but he was telling me, I promise this dog will do it. He'll do it. And for sure enough, he went and took it and did it and went way out of bounds. I mean, I've never been. This dog, I was looking at channel markers. He was way out in the marsh. And we were struggling to get there. And I already had it in my mind we were going to have to stay the night on this island. When you get into that sawgrass, it's cutting you up and you're in marsh and you're stepping down to your kneecap every time you look on your GPS and it says dog is 1.5 in trees. And I'm trying to bring my catch dog through all this and I'm about to cry through it. It's just a miserable walk. And as luck would have it, man, an airboat was on the horizon fishing and came and got us, took us to the dogs, waited for us to catch the hog and took us back. And I was just like, man, I prayed for that boat. I thought I was going to die here. I was like, we didn't even have no water.
Really?
Yeah, it was terrible. I was like, that's almost like God sending the whale. I was like, he sent us an airboat.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Man, that was just a crazy day. I know it don't sound as crazy, but think there was that airboat right there. And the guy said he was been sitting there for hours not catching nothing, just hanging out. He could have left a long time ago.
Oh yeah, he should already done been
that
gone.
Was divine intervention. I made up my mind I was probably gonna die out there.
Damn.
Now, it wasn't that bad, but I was being dramatic with my buddy. I said, don't ever bring this dog again.
So that dog would get it, wouldn't it?
That dog would get it. He's got my blessings for the rest of my life. Just don't ever bring him around me again.
Hey, I thought I wanted one like that. I messed around and got one. Man, let me tell you. Woo. Oh, Houdini. That's something good. Listen, but now he was never going to put teeth on one at all, period. Loose. I mean, he was going to stand 10 yards back and he'll walk him. And I man, you talking about, but now as soon as the dog would see, as soon as the catch dog got close enough to even touch the pig, he was gone. He rolled out every time. And I think the last time I hunted him was over in Mississippi. And I said, look, if we ever get this dog back, I said, I'm done with him. And had a guy call me. I said, let me tell you. I said, you want the best dog in the world? He said, yeah. He said, how much you gonna cost me? I said, nothing. You can get it. Yeah, I said, just come get him. I said, I drove back to Mississippi and carried him the dog. He that's the only kind of dogs he hunted. He wanted real loose dogs, and they would bay and shoot a lot, and we didn't. But that dog right there was he was something. He was. I wish I had him now to do some of the stuff that we had.
Never miss your water till your well go dry.
That's right. And like you said, ain't no telling how many of the best dogs in the world was culled at 5-6 months old.
I wish more people culling would happen.
Look at here, man. You're gonna get along just fine.
Yeah.
We're going to get along just fine. We might have to.
If people would turn that mirror around and look at themselves a lot of times, that'll fix your dog program. If you look at what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't want to look at it that way. They say this dog's got a nose. He got to smell every pig in the vicinity. He's the problem, not me. But it's you.
The handler is the weakest
You ain't hunting where the hog's at. It's several factors. But a lot of people don't want to put the finger on themselves.
Yeah.
The handler is the weakest link in that team.
Yep.
Every time. Because no matter what, you're responsible for what the dog's doing. You're the handler.
I think that was the first conversation me and Carter had. That's what I told him. I said 90% of dogs' error is handler. All dogs' mistakes are yours. They're just dogs, man. You know, we talk about like dogs trashing and stuff like that. That's another thing. It's like, it's not trash to them. They're just running game. You just got to hone them and put them where the game you want them to run is.
Yeah, it depends on who you asking to. Old timer might tell you that dog ain't trash, and he just teaming up with that armadillo to take me to the hole.
There you go. See, that's the way I try to look at it, like mine. What I say a while ago, he's following him down there to him. He's gonna get behind him, and every now and then he might bark at him when he goes in the hole.
That's just for his own safety. You know?
That's it, you know. So, but man, I tell you, it's so we're gonna try to we'll get some links together and put on this so that way people can contact you and find out about doing some hunts.
Awesome.
And you know, like I said, we really commend you on what you're doing. You're bringing a lot to the sport. You're shedding it in a positive light. You're a positive individual, and that's what's going to keep it going.
Man, there you go, making me purple blush again.
Oh shit! Come on now. When we ever get to meet face to face, you're gonna be like, damn, this is a disappointment. You ain't even gonna like me. You watch.
Yeah, and I doubt that, man. But I appreciate the kind words. I do what I can do out here for the dogs, and I applaud you guys too, man, for putting on this podcast and talking to the different dog guys, man. Since discovering you guys' podcast, I went back and listened to a few myself, and it's pretty cool to hear different people's perspective, views, and I've always said for a long time, man, it's 1,000 ways to catch hogs and nobody's wrong. Everybody's doing it. I mean, that's debatable, of course. Yeah. But the ultimate goal is catching hogs.
Exactly.
And to that person, they think they're right. They know they're right. Or
if they're catching hogs, they're doing it. You know, if they're catching the hogs, I firmly believe they're on the right track. It ain't the same track I'm running, but if they're catching it, you know,
they're getting it done the way that suits them, and I can't be mad at that person.
Lord no, because I ain't feeding them dogs and I ain't paying that man's bills or woman's bills, whoever. But
hey, that's a question I get asked a lot too. They'll be like, "What do you think about such and such as dogs?" And I'll be like, "If I ain't got to feed it, I ain't got no opinion on it."
Yeah, as long as they ain't out there messing my dogs up, we good. Or my dog might be messing theirs up, you know, either way.
Might be.
Because
mine have been known to make other folks' trash.
Yeah, I mean, mine will. I think that's probably what happened. You was probably hunting in Florida and my dog's trashed on armadillo up here.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened. So, well, all right, my man. Like I said, is there anything else you want to add?
No, man. I just encourage everybody to get out here, experience the sport, try something new, meet new people, and enjoy our sport while we still have it.
Yeah, and maybe we can all kind of find a common ground and work together and keep this sport going.
Yeah. That's what's going to keep the sport cup going, is everybody having the same common ground. And like I say, I will say I am pleased with the hog world as a majority. I feel like there are some bad apples, man, but I feel like most of the people I meet are genuine people who all have the same interest. And typically, those you meet a lot of stand-up men dealing with dogs. You meet some bad apples, but I feel like as a whole, as a majority, we have a good representation of dog men and women. And junior dog men and women.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I really do. Compared to what it was 15 years ago, and the amount of people that are doing it, I think we're heading in the right direction. We've got a lot of new people out there that's got new ideas, and like you said, there's always going to be something that's negative here and there, but for the majority of it, I think we're doing right. We're doing good. So. But man, that's hey, we appreciate having you on, and anytime. It don't matter what it is. You got my phone number. You holler if you need anything. Bring your ass up here and hunt with us.
Man, don't tempt me with a good time. I've been looking for some new land to trash on.
I'm telling you, we got it. We got it, and
and likewise, man. If you guys ever find y'all way in Levy County, look me up.
We will, my man. I appreciate you.
I'll be the overly handsome man on the corner.
Shit, both of us gonna be there then. Both of us.
A couple of handsome men.
All right, Ralph. We appreciate you, my man.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.
All right. See you, buddy. Bye-bye. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Did it come? Okay, good.
That was good.
Yeah, that was a good one, y'all. That was. He's been at it quite a few years now, but he's putting it together, and I've noticed there's quite a few people that's that's doing this, more business oriented side of the sport. And there's a lot of people that don't like that. But at the same time, look at all the deer hunting, duck hunting, bird hunting. It's the same thing. And without that, you're not going to keep your hunting rights, because these are the kind of people that are going to be able to put up a fight.
Oh, yeah.
Guys that are doing this as a business, we're going to be the ones that's out here making the waves, but it takes everybody working together.
Yeah, because it still takes the people that are just doing it just to have a good time. They're not. It's not all consuming for them.
Yeah.
It's still, they have the love and they have the passion for it, because those people are supporting the ones who have the businesses.
Well, like Kyle said, it's what he does. It's not who he is.
Yeah.
And with us, it's the opposite just about. It's who we are.
Yeah.
And I feel there's a big percentage that's like that.
And it's okay to be on either side.
Yeah.
You just pick your side and stay in your lane. Support everyone.
You can go hunt just whenever you want to. And we cannot. We want to hunt every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Well, guys, it's been another episode. We're trying to crank them out like y'all requested. Nate's been staying on us, on top of everything, keeping guests lined up and getting new guests. If you know a dog man or dog woman, dog person, whatever you want to say, that has excelled in their field and what they're doing, and you think they'd be a good guest, contact us or put them in contact with us, or however, just let's see if we can work it out. Because after so long, there's only so many people that we can get in contact with ourselves. So we need help with that as well. And make sure that you like, subscribe, and check out all our social media stuff. Catch us on Spotify, and we're coming up on Apple.
Yep.
All right.
Hopefully we will be.
All right. Maybe this episode will be on that too.
I sure hope it is. I'm just waiting on them for Apple Podcasts to approve our account now. So it took me days and days of just trial and error working with Apple and trying to create an Apple ID and all that. I don't know what issues they were having with their servers, but there was a lot apparently. But we've worked out all the kinks, and
it's going to be great, because if it's too easy, it ain't going to be no good.
No, it was hard, so it's worth it.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks to all our sponsors and everybody that supports us. Thanks to all our listeners. We out.
Thank you.